Facebook. Woo, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Look at me, I'm sitting down today. No, we are going to stand up. Welcome to the Annie and Mindy show, and good morning from me, Mindy, in Israel, and my partner in crime.
Oh, hang on. Hey, went off from my... Hi, Annie. This is Annie Callis from Melbourne, Australia, and welcome to the Annie and Mindy show.
She's going in all sorts of areas. You know, Annie and I, we get on this call every morning. We started to do it because when we have a meeting, actually, every Thursday morning, already for almost 2 years. At the end of this year, it'll be 2 years that Annie and I are working together. Unbelievable, amazing, a great thing that happened in my life. So what happened was, before we started our meeting, we'd always chit-chat. Always start talking and tell each other all these stories, and oh my God, it's so exciting. So we decided, okay, these are really great stories. So let's do an Annie and Mindy show. And before I have our meetings, half hour of just talking and sharing what's going on in our lives. And that was the whole idea to create the Annie and Mindy show. So what happened is, now we have the Annie and Mindy show. We meet at 8:30 my time to go on the Annie and Mindy show. What happens? We start chit-chatting, talking about all sorts of things that are going on before we even start to record. So, in the middle of Annie sharing with me some great news that she has, I said, oh, let's turn on the video and start sharing this wonderful, wonderful celebration. So today, we're all about celebrating milestones, celebrating big ones and small ones. So Annie, first of all, get up for Annie for a big time.
But before we do that, I just want to ask you if you could just sit down for a minute and talk, because since you stood up, again, there's a lot of crackling that's going on in your voice. So I don't know if it's the elevation or or something's happening when we go live. I'm not sure.
Okay, so let me turn on the light while I'm at it.
Okay.
No sense in sitting in the dark.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure, but it was just having that and couldn't really.
Okay. I'm sitting. Do you hear me better?
No, it's right at the end. It's still making a noise. So if anybody is watching, can you just let us know whether it's distorted for you also or just for me? Just want to make sure to see whether it's yeah. So
anyway, you're going to be doing most of the talking, Annie. So
yeah, okay, all right. So talking about milestones, well, you know, through this whole lockdown situation that we've had around the world, it was one of those things that we either keep going or we just sit and watch Netflix. And as much as I do,
which I did a couple of times throughout the year, I have to admit it.
Yeah, so did I. However, it wasn't a daily routine. It was more like at the end of a day or so. I had really long days. However, amazing things were happening because I was getting very connected to myself. You know, I was doing the miracle morning regularly, and I was talking to people, and I was showing up everywhere I could show up. And, you know, I was having conversations with friends around the world, and they would say, oh, do you want to come and do a webinar for us? Or do you want to be a guest? Or do you want to do a podcast? So it really cemented me as the relationships architect.
Yeah.
So that's really great. Like a lot of people know, oh, Annie, the relationships architect, right? Because it's so different. So that was really great. And then I was working on my branding with my graphic artist. And then he called me one day and he said, hey, he goes, would you be open to be like a business for a group of students from one of the universities? They have to do this assignment where they build a website for a real business. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Next thing I know, I'm talking to these people. Next thing I know, I've got a team who's building my website.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yesterday we finished it, And I mean, there's still another section for it to go, and that's going to be next year in the next term. However, it's enough to put out there. The rest is more like, behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's ready to go. So I'm just waiting for them to tell me that it's live.
How exciting. So
I
exciting.
know.
Can we look at it? Can we get a sneak peek?
Yeah, so Mindy said, well, let's have a sneak peek. And I kind of went, I didn't even think about it. So why not? Why not show the website? I just want to say these students were unbelievable. Everything ran so smoothly, and they kept me in check, and they did such a beautiful job. For people that don't know me, they really got my flavor. And they came up with stuff that I was like, oh wow. Oh. And then I would ask, so what made you think of that? Or why did you put that in there? Because I wouldn't have, but they did.
Yeah.
And then they explained it to me, and I went, oh yeah.
I like that.
An amazing group of young people who also had to do their exams.
Yeah.
So everything came like mad. When it's almost when you're close to something but you're that far away, and then all of a sudden it's like it's an explosion. It's like, okay, we need this and this and this and this and this, and along the way I hired so I started building my team. You know what I mean? So I hired a copywriter, because I just thought, oh, I don't know what to write. And she was amazing. Oh, I have to do a testimonial for her. And she's amazing. And then I met somebody else who well, I know this other person, but I call him like a marketing auditor. So he helped me with some stuff too. And then I'm doing the finances with you, and I'm starting to really understand my business, from a financial perspective. And then I started investing in some, foreign exchange and all that kind of stuff, so I can make my money work for me. And I've had great returns. So I'm just going,
last month 25%, just in 1 month 25%. Amazing.
I invested 1,000, I got like 1,500 back in 5 weeks on top of the 1,000. So that's 2,500.
Amazing.
And I'm like,
holy moly.
I got money in a bank, and I looked and much more than that. And I looked the other day, and I got $30 return.
Wow.
Wow.
But,
I know. This whole education of self-education about finance, about this, about that, it's actually really working, and it's helping me grow my business from different angles, and also growing my own portfolio and all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't want to just rely on the government to pay me, a pension.
Yeah.
Other people that can use that. I might as well create my own wealth.
Yes, baby.
I don't have to rely on the government. So I have to say, I'm tired. Yeah, well, I still want to book, but I want to sign one. So when you come to Australia, you need to bring me one, right? So it's almost like it's coming to the end of the year, and I'm exhausted. Like sometimes I just sit there and I go, oh, it's just not working, However, there's such excitement behind all of that, because slowly I'm closing all these things. So the website is ready. Then my funnel is almost ready, so I can put it out there so I can help more people. Especially now, our dear friend Hannah sent me an article today about the rate of divorce that has gone up because of 24-hour lockdown with your spouse. And it was talking about the fact that people that have had a fairly good marriage, it became more solid. But those that already had challenges, this lockdown actually really brought it to the surface. And a lot of them, there's a lot of divorce cases out there now.
We have to reduce the divorce rate, people. Reduce the divorce rate, not increase the divorce rate. It is a crime. I was watching a video. Sorry that I'm interrupting you because this is a really
That's
hot
fine.
subject for me.
Go.
I was watching a video that someone sent me this morning with Will Smith, and he's talking about self-discipline equals self-love. You know, how you let yourself off the hook actually because your self-esteem is low and you're giving up on a good life and you're giving up on quality of life because people aren't willing to make the effort to make that, because they see it as discipline punishment instead of discipline self-love. And that's pretty much your talk, Annie. I've read a few articles that you've written about discipline also. It's in line with that. It's self-love. You want to live a certain way, so you have to invest, energy, time, emotion, money in making those things happen to you. And when it comes to marriage, people do not invest in their marriages. They get married and they get stuck, and it's okay to get stuck because we are people, and our life changes and situation changes, and we have to learn to manage those changes. We have to learn to grow, like you're talking, Annie, within COVID, all this year, you learned how to grow within the new reality. So people in their marriages have to learn to grow also in their new reality. Instead of giving up on this great dream, they should be investing. Okay, how do I solve that? How do I go to a relationship architect like you, go and solve the problem, work on it. Not saying 100% will work, but I'd say a big percentage will work, because if you loved someone enough and believed in someone enough to marry them, then you should love them and yourself enough to make an effort to make it work. And I would guarantee, if there's no abuse involved in it, right? That's another story altogether. But if there's no abuse involved in the relationship, that you can make it work and you can have a happy life. And I will tell you from my experience, and maybe I'm projecting, maybe I could be projecting, but from my experience, divorce sucks. It is hard to be alone. It is hard to raise your children alone. It is hard to date and find another relationship when you have to earn money and take care of your kids and clean the house. And maybe I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, but it sucks. The grass is not greener. It is hard. So work on your marriage. Work on your marriage. And it's my goal in money. Yeah, I work with money. But my goal in money is helping people deal with money, is also to reduce the divorce rate, because 70% of divorces are based on financial reasons, not just lockdown. I mean, they're finding how to send you that article on lockdown, but there's sex and there's money. So I deal with the money part of it. People, work on your marriages, work on your money, work on your relationships, work on your communication, and make it better, because you have a foundation that is so important, that can grow, that already can grow flowers. The ground is fertile. It just needs to have, a little bit more fertilizer, a little bit more tender love and care, a little bit of worms put in there to eat it up, spice it up, talk to your plants. Let it grow, baby. Sorry about that.
No, you don't need to apologize, because I think you're very right. Because here's the thing. When you have a home, you're forever fixing it and cleaning it and bringing stuff in. When you fertilize the garden, you bring something from the outside in, because the garden is not making it itself anymore. It doesn't have the capacity, so we need to bring it. When you have a car, you have to service it all the time. So you bring an outside influence, which is a serviceman. When people have relationships, they only know what they know up to that point. So then when things start happening, they don't know how to deal with it, because they don't have the knowledge. So it's important that they get knowledge. However, reading books is one thing, but a book is somebody else's perspective. You still need to apply it. So if you don't know how to apply it, you need to get a professional. You must get a professional to guide you and help you until you can go out and do it on your own. Right. A good coach or facilitator, like a coach, is one who empowers you, gives you all the tools, and then lets you go. You don't want them to rely on you for the rest of their life.
Help you implement them. That's the big deal here. A good coach will help you, not just tell. It's not academic. Do this, do this, do this, right. Do this. Let's find a way and then work on your muscles. just like a sports coach.
Absolutely.
Let's work on it and see how it works, and see that you're standing right, and see that you know how to lunge right, and see that you know how to do the movement and how it affects you, how it makes you feel afterwards. It's a process. Coaching is a process. It's not academic. It's not knowledge based. It's action based. It's behavior based. It's emotion based. You need to take steps that are safe for you and then deal with the results in a safe environment. And that's exactly, that's what we do. I do it with money. You do it with relationships. It's important, people. Do not give up on yourselves. Self-love. Love yourself enough to work on the things in your life instead of pushing them away. I have right now an issue with, a very close family member. Very, very close family member who I find, moves on. She says she gets in a snake pit, and then what she does, instead of staying in the snake pit, she drops everything and goes. I don't need to be in a snake pit, which is okay. Who wants to be in a snake pit? But maybe that snake pit isn't really a snake pit. Or maybe that it's this deep, the snake pit, and you can just take one little step and be there in the same environment and do what you need to do. Work on it. Don't be in a snake pit, but don't run away from it. The challenges that we have in life are the things that are going to make us grow.
Yeah. Well, so you're very correct about that, and it comes down to this one thing, which, like, I'm a big fan of Gary Chapman and the 5 love languages. But the 5 love languages don't just apply to a man and woman or let's say an intimate relationships. They actually apply to any relationship that we have, because each human being has a particular love language. And unless you choose to practice that love language and to practice the love language of the other person, unless you choose to understand the other person, nothing is going to happen. And then they point at each other. Well, hang on, because when you point, and I don't really like to point this way, but if I ask the question, where do most of the finger point? Backwards, because there's 3 going towards me and only 1 going towards you. So I can say you. Yeah, but me. So hang on, where am I responsible in this, right? So in a relationship, in an intimate relationship, and both of us have exactly the same mission, is to reduce the divorce rate, and the vision is to have households where children grow up in a happy environment, right? So that's the long-term vision. So the mission is to do whatever we do with our own skills to help people. The purpose is to help people overcome their challenges. You from a financial perspective, and me from, you said there's sex and money. Well, about sex, because sex stops because people have something going on internally, and then the rejection starts, right? And the resentment. And that all starts because of something deeper, and it has nothing to do with the other person. Yeah. It's deeper than that. However, you punish the other person by taking away from them something that is paramount in a relationship, which is sex. Because sex is not just, pardon the language, the fucking. It's actually the emotional connection that transfers into the physical connection, and it creates all those healthy hormones and pheromones. It's actually healthy for you. Why is everybody that's not having sex moping around and feeling edgy? Because it's important. So then people go off, they separate from somebody that they so loved once, right? Due to misunderstandings or whatever. And then they go off and they think, okay, we're going to sleep with whoever we want to. But is it ever fulfilling? From what I heard, no. And I can tell you, I heard both from men and women. Like, I tried online dating for about 2 months and I was horrified. I got off. But I spoke to people, and clearly I spoke to a lot of men. And the horror stories they were telling me about how women treated them.
Wow.
Right? And they were very disappointed because they were looking for love and affection. So there's no difference between men and women. We all want the same thing. Right? So I think it's so important. So yeah. Anyway, so with that, we really digressed where we get passionate about this. I tell you what, Mindy, next year you and I will have to do an event where we bring the sex and the money together, and we teach couples on how to have a beautifully rounded life, you know, where they can support each other but also have relationships with other people around. Because you know, here's the thing, one person cannot fulfill all your needs. A lot of people think that one person can give you everything, and that's not so.
No,
No.
that's true.
So you got to figure out what are the things that you enjoy doing together, and then have a life outside your marriage with other people, with friends. And you know, if you want to go out dancing and he's not a dancer, go with your girlfriends. That doesn't mean that you're going out to pick up. When I was married, I went out quite a lot because dancing is my out, right? I was too busy dancing to notice or talk to anybody. And I think when you're not looking available, people don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Or they do, but it's like to say, okay, great, mate, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Are you pretty? Yeah, I'm married, thanks. Right? So I never really had an issue. And then he likes going to the football. I don't want to go to the football. You go, scream, yell, release, and then come home. Right? So before you meet your partner, you were somebody. You were you. So try to remain you within the marriage. Right? Because that's what happens. People lose their identity and then they blame the other person for their unhappiness.
Yeah.
Go figure. Right? Yeah. So anyway, so let's ta-da! I'm gonna show my new website. I'm so excited. Okay, so just let me find it. Where is it?
Get the birth of a child.
Yeah, so let me see this. No, that's not it. Here it is.
That's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
So this is the homepage, and there's that bit.
You
just
sexy
a little
thing, sexy thing, you.
Yeah, these are my programs. So we got the relationship one, then the goal setting one, and then I've got 2 for mastering your mind.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and then I've got a free gift, like a book that they can start using, so they can actually start practicing already.
Wow,
and,
wow.
I actually had somebody who I don't know if you read this, or I did a 28-day relationship challenge, and he said, I tried them all, but she didn't respond, so we're not together anymore.
Wow. That's a
well,
big
if somebody
indication.
if somebody doesn't respond to your romance. Actually, my son came home today and he said, Mom, I just have to tell you something. Oh yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend. Okay. Is everything okay? Because yeah, we're gonna stay friends and all of that, but because we realized that she's not romantic and she doesn't give back and stuff like that, and she knows, and she just didn't want to drag me along.
Wow.
So now he's having a bath and having a good time. I'm like, wow, there you go, clever.
Wow.
So yeah, so these are my success stories, and then connect
Annie,
with me.
first of all, it's beautiful. It's so nice. It's just great. I love it. The look of it. Maybe these kids want to do my website too.
Yeah, I tell you what, they were really good. So then I did my, so this is the about me. So there's just a little bit, about me, why I do it and what I feel about relationships and what relationships mean. And all of this comes from my experience. So that's that one. And then we've got the programs. This is really nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
So this is my methodology, right?
I love it.
And I've got testimonials, and then this is the the goal setting, living life with a definite purpose.
Uh-huh.
So that's that one. Look at this.
Wow, wow,
I had a
wow.
lady who
You
did
saved my
the goal
life.
setting with me, and she sent me a text and she said, "You saved my life." How about that?
Wow.
Pretty cool. And then this is the Master Your Mind, which is, Blair's 2 programs. So that's, I call this the momentum. Blair calls it accountability, but it's a momentum program.
Uh-huh.
And then people that did it, and then the little voice mentoring.
Beautiful.
So I got
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so that's that. And then again, I've got the testimonials. Check this photo out.
Oh my God.
It's
That is
gorgeous.
delicious.
So then these are, so I've got a few others. So what we're gonna be doing is next year they're gonna change it a little bit. I found somebody that I admire. Have you heard of Marie Forleo?
No.
Oh, she's a coach in the States, and she's got a very beautiful website. And her name is marieforleo.com, and she actually has in her testimonials page, she has all these little blocks, and it just looks so good. So you can keep adding testimonials, all sorts of different testimonials. So it's different shapes instead of people scrolling. Yeah. So what I want to do is I want people to have an easier way, or a little bit more fun, something pleasant, rather than
scrolling down.
So it's good, yeah. And then this is the connect page.
Hey, Annie.
Yes. So this is
beautiful.
It. Yes.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Brilliant. That is amazing. Such a good job you did, and the guys in the university did. Amazing. It really caught your flavor, and you look so beautiful in the pictures as well.
Thank you. I'm really, really thrilled with it, and I can't believe that I have a website. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, and it. Who would have known at the beginning of the year that by the end I'm going to have a website? Because I was just sort of thinking, oh my God, I mean, we all know how expensive it is to get a website design. And I was like, I wasn't really in a position to do that yet. And then this came along, and it didn't cost me anything other than my time and the other people that I hired to help me, which I would have had to hire anyway on top.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazing.
So I'm like,
abundance.
So blessed, so very happy. So thank you for allowing me to share, and it's very exciting.
It is. Enjoy it. I hope it works well for you, and it's a great calling card. Anyone who sees that is definitely going to feel your energy, and that's what I guess is the most important.
I think now the proof will be in the pudding. In the pudding, it's just getting people, to give me some feedback on it, to read some of the descriptions and see if it's engaging, because what I feel and what engages people is another. So this is where I'm starting to understand what test and measure means.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very thrilled with that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So thanks, Mindy. Thank you.
Thank you. Got into a heated conversation. We're celebrating our wins. Life is just dynamic. Lots of little aspects and nooks and crannies that we deal with them all. So even when you have a win, it brings you into subjects that can be very, very passionate about. So thank you all for sharing our passion with us and being here. And we'd love to hear your comments and what you think of Andy's beautiful website and the rest of the things we talked about today. And if there's any subject that you want to discuss further, go into, get clarification on, we are always, always happy to support. So in the meantime, have a really great week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. See you later. Bye. Bye.